Hi, I'm Deanne Richards, and I'm your infection preventionist. Today's topic is on cleaning and disinfection. Now, there's many times we may be asked in the trades to actually clean and disinfect. That could be at the end of a construction project before they release it back to the organization. It could be because there's an illness within the workplace. So I wanted to go over the correct steps for cleaning and disinfection. So my very first thing is that cleaning and disinfection is 2 steps. So the first step is always cleaning. Well, why do we need to clean? Well, if there's anything visible dirt on the item, and again, every construction zone is considered dirty, you need to clean first. So if we don't have a product that's readily available that will clean and disinfect what we want, good old dish soap works really well. Just follow the instructions, including any warning signs on any of the products we talk about today. So there are no warnings on dish soap that you need gloves or any other. So I'm going to just go right into, and you're going to notice I have a washcloth within this soap. And I am, and you can see the suds, so I definitely have some suds there. I'm going to wring it out. And what I'm going to do is I am going to fold that cloth into fourths. Now, some cloths may actually be larger so that you fold it in half and then into thirds, but you're going to do that depending on the size. So for this one, I folded it in twice. And the reason I did that gives me 8 surfaces, and I'll explain that. So the very first step we have to do is we need to clean, and I'm going to use this cooler as an example. So we're actually going to be using friction and pressure to take off anything that I visibly can see that's dirty. And you may have to work pretty hard to get that to occur. Now just keep in mind, if you can't get it off with a simple cloth, you may have to go to secondary means such as a brush to do that. But my washcloth now has dirt on that. So I want to keep cleaning, but I don't want to keep spreading around the dirt. What I'm going to do is, for that side that was dirty, I'm going to put that towards my hand, and I'm going to use the next clean side. And I'm going to keep scrubbing away until I get the dirt. And you can see the suds and water that's coming off of it. It does indeed have dirt. So now you're saying, well, Deanne, you've used 2 sides of your washcloth. What are you going to do? Well, what I'm going to do is take those 2 dirty sides and fold it together. So now I have 2 more clean sides. So I can keep working on this item, scrubbing away to clean it. And I would keep turning that washcloth. So I have 1 more side for this one, and I can keep cleaning away. Now, where did the 8 sides come in, you're going to ask? Well, simply being is that after this whole side is dirty, I am going to fold dirty onto dirty. And now I have 4 more surfaces that I can use to clean. Now, the reason I want to do that and keep folding and using that cloth is we never put a dirty cloth back into the clean solution. So only clean hand towels or whatever item you're using is in this water. So I'm never going to put that dirty back in there. If I used up the other 4 sides, I'm going to pull a new cleaning cloth out and continue cleaning. So that's our step 1. Our step 2 is actually the disinfectant. So today we are actually using a bleach solution. So this is just water in here, and what I've added is bleach. But before you do that, I want to give you a caution. Read your product labels. If it tells you to wear goggles when pouring, wear goggles when pouring. If it tells you to have additional personal protective equipment on, make sure you have that and that you're utilizing it. My other component is, as a disinfectant, it doesn't know whether the germs are on you or a surface. So in order to protect your own skin, because that's what helps keep you healthy, you're going to need to wear gloves when you're using a disinfectant. The other is, I don't want you to use straight bleach. It's a diluted bleach. So for our example here, you'd be having a 1/3 cup of bleach to a gallon of water, or 4 teaspoons to a quart. So again, not straight. that is still effective, but there are things we need to keep in mind. This type of disinfectant needs to be made daily. It doesn't stay overnight. And if you do store it, let's say you start in the morning and you want to use it through the day, you can't have it in a clear container like this. The light actually causes it to not work as effectively. So just know for me, I'm using this right away, so I've got it in a opaque container. So my other component is make sure you check your expiration on your bleach. It's typically a BB, best by date. So this one is on 1/29/2021. So this one's effective, but I will say that I did pull a product that was underneath the kitchen sink here, and it was actually used by 2017. So I wouldn't consider that a good product for me to use for this disinfection. So I'm putting on my gloves, and same thing, I'm going to pull my towel out. I'm going to wring out. And again, because it's bleach, that's where you may want to have an apron on so that you're not getting the bleach onto your clothing, because I'd like all my clothing not to have dots from that. But our steps for this one is I still have it folded, but for the disinfection, what we're doing is just wiping the surfaces and letting it air dry. So for this one, I may be able to get longer and farther with one side of the cloth before I have to turn it over. The reason that we just want to apply it and let it air dry is there's an item called contact time or wet time with disinfectants. Every product's differently, but the key is that it needs to be on there wet so that the disinfectant can actually kill the germs. So don't go back over it thinking you're speeding it up by taking a paper towel to it or another cloth to it. It actually needs to remain wet and stay wet and let it dry on its own. So in summary, cleaning disinfection is 2 steps. First one being the cleaning, second one being the disinfection. And right now, as we're facing coronavirus, both of these products are excellent in being able to kill that specific virus. But this method of cleaning disinfection would apply to any time that you need to clean and disinfect, whether at the end of a construction or even in your home. One of the common questions I've had asked of me is, what if I do have a product that is a ready-made product that indeed is approved by the FDA to kill coronavirus? Now your first question may be, how would we know that? Well, there is an N list on the EPA website, and we'll include it in with the description for this video. But on the bottom of the product, typically towards the bottom, you need to look for an EPA registered number. And that's the number you're going to search for. Typically, it has 4 digits in front. It may have several digits after it with a dash, but that's the number you're going to look for. The labels may change for what the product name is, but the EPA number does not. So these are just 2 of the products we found here at this site that actually are effective against coronavirus. But let's go over how to use a ready-made product. Again, because they're disinfectants, we're going to take precautions and protect our own skin. And remember that it was a cleaning and disinfection is a 2-step. Same thing here. So as I am facing this cooler, 1 cloth, and your first thing to clean, again, friction. And I'm turning my cloth because it's getting dirty pretty good. And again, this is unfair. I'm using the bottom of the cooler, so of course it's going to be dirty. But I'm going to make sure that I am rubbing and scrubbing until I can get everything off visually that will come off. So that's my first step. I'm going to throw this away. It's no longer useful to me. So my second step, I'm going to go ahead and take another cloth. And again, I'm going to wipe it and just let it air dry. And just like with the bleach, I don't want to touch this too much because many disinfectants will indeed stain your clothing if you use it too. So as I let it dry, the disinfectant is killing the germs on the items. So yes, by all means, that disinfectants that are ready-made and with a cloth are quicker to do than our method that's traditional of just soap and bleach dilution. But you have to be able to find the product in order to use it for something like coronavirus. Now, within your home, if you have healthy individuals, your regular disinfectants are actually recommended by your CDC. But again, if you have an ill individual or you're working within a hospital, a two-step method, whether you use pre-made or the traditional, is an excellent way to keep your environment clean and stop the spread of germs.